Hello, and welcome to the Desigo Optic Graphic Builder, setting up a graphic training. We're going to start by creating some graphics for this unit. I want to make a note. Before you start on graphics, you need to set up a couple of things. Your alarms and your trends must be set up as much as possible because they tag some points when that's performed, which will affect the graphics. If you make a change after, you must update the binding. I highly recommend that, 1. You create the alarms you need to, and 2. You create the trends. First, I will show you what happens when you create a trend. If you go to this heating point, there are a couple of things with the heating point I want to show you. This is one point that we created the alarm on with the alarm config. What happens when we create that alarm config? It adds two tags for our point, a loud program and a long point. Adding those additional tags will modify the tags within the graphic. Therefore, it's going to make the graphics. It's going to kind of exit out, were we not able to see it or not make it visible. Then we have to go through update bindings for that part of the graphic to show back up. If you know you have alarms and set them up in the beginning, set them up beforehand. It's going to help you with the work photographs. Another part is that if I turn this trend off, you will notice something to the point. I'm going to show you, it's trended. We have our tags for our points up top. You don't see an AUX tag or anything like that, but when I close the trend off, if I turn it was to turn it off, or what would happen is, when I look at the tags up top, you'll see that the AUX tag comes in. If I turn a trend off for some reason or change that part of it, it's going to modify the point in the graphic based on the tags, and then it's going to have update binding. With those two things in mind, I highly recommend that you do all your work up front and leave graphics to the very end. Let's go ahead and just turn that trend back on really quick. Then let's show you how to create a new graphic. The steps to create a new graphic is that you're going to go to Graphic Builder. First, ensure you're in the context, like everything else. If you're not, that's from the arrow. You just go up here to our equipment and then we choose the arrow, and that puts us in that context. Make sure that we're working on the correct graphic and then go to Graphic Builder. Then New and build that graphic. By selecting that context, it selects the tags we want to use because it's using the tags that are part of that equipment. Then first we name the graphics. We can use regular naming contacts. We don't have to use a camel case. The second part is you have several templates. AHU templates will give you a supplier return air and exhaust air modification. Almost like an H sideways H formation. Rooftop unit is going to be like a typical return air, outside air formation, VAV. A typical VAV formation, blank, is that we're going to just work with an empty canvas. For this purpose, I will work with an empty canvas to show you some of this. We want to do it by tags, which means that everything with these tags will have this graphic. That's why we must tag it with additional tags for the HVAC and VAB zone, and the air handling unit. If we did it by the NAV name, it would be that every graphic has the same name. It is an option, but I would recommend tags. If you want to make a specific graphic for one specific piece of equipment, that's when you would use point IDs. This is where we choose the points that we want to use for the graphic, and then from there we could choose the components. We can convert it to components. This is where I would recommend that you don't use this. I will show you what one does when we bring it in. This is a chill water valve that we're going to bring in. It works with some points and with some points it doesn't always work, but we'll want to show you a demonstration of how that comes into play, so we hit OK. Once it does that, it will build the file for us on Assad. We're going to choose to go ahead and edit the graphics. Now, this brings us to our graphics screen. We're ready to start working on some graphics. This will lead us to the next few videos. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in one of our next videos about Desigo Optic.